Hello everyone, you're watching a video on the Dragonspine Spear. The Dragonspine Spear is a highly technical spear that, in the right hands, can become overpowered. I'll be honest, if you're not confident in your character switching and comboing, then this spear is not for you. Anyways, if you're already able to craft this weapon, awesome, you can just skip to the crafting and review part, and if you're not able to craft this weapon yet, it's super simple to get it. So you can get this blueprint for this weapon by picking up a strange tooth at any of these 4 locations. First one's over here. There's a barrier around the tooth, so you need to kill the cryo lava churl in the surrounding. If you're struggling trying to kill the lava churl, you can actually come to the brazier over here, and the lava churl will actually get stuck on the tree. Once he's dead, the barrier surrounding the strange tooth will drop and you can just grab it. Second one's in the top left. You actually have to investigate the ground near the big tooth in the fire fatui. Third one's to the right of the second one. It's actually on the island in the river and it's covered by ice, so you need to break it. Once you do that, you can actually just go ahead and grab it. The last one's underground in the cavern with a suspicious red orb. You can just go ahead and walk up to it and grab it. Once you pick up a strange tooth for the first time, you'll trigger a quest to get the blueprint. It's a fairly difficult quest if you don't know what you're doing. First off, you need to grab the other 3 teeth, so if you didn't do that, go ahead and do that. You'll then need to grab 50 star silver ore. Here's a picture of a route from my star silver video that will net you around 90 star silver. And then finally we have to get a northern polearm prototype. If you don't already have one, don't worry, you can actually get one by leveling up the awakening tree to level 8. You have to use 70 crimson agate. So if you don't have it leveled up, pause the video and get 70 of them. I have videos on my channel that you can use to find the crimson agate, or you can just search up another video. Once you have a prototype, or if you already had one, you just need to head back to Orion and then you'll receive the next quest to obtain a revitalized dragon tooth. Head back to location 4, you'll have to face some fatui, and once they're dead, you just go up to the red orb and click the question marks. You'll then have to face another 3 rounds of fatui, after which you can just grab your revitalized tooth. Last step of the quest is just to go and talk to Orban. Once you talk to Orban, you have to give him the revitalized tooth, the polearm prototype, and the 50 star silver. And once you do that, he'll give you a Dragonspine spear along with the blueprint for it. Once you have the blueprint, you can craft this weapon at the forge for 1 Northlander polearm prototype, 50 star silver ore, and 8 revitalized tooths. To get Northlander polearm prototypes, you need to kill weekly bosses, and it will rarely drop from them, or you can get it by leveling the awakening tree to level 8 if you haven't already used it in the quest. Star Silver Ore respawns every 48 hours around Dragonspine. I actually have a route for that in my Star Silver Ore video. As for revitalized teeth, you just need to get 4 strange tooths found here and then go to the red orb and revitalize them. The strange teeth respawn every 48 hours. Now onto the actual review of the weapon. Base attack wise, it has a value of 41, which among 4 and 5 star polearms is the lowest it can go. However, what it lacks in base attack, it makes up for in its secondary stat, physical damage bonus. Comparing it to a similar weapon, the Crescent Pike, the Dragonspine Spear has double the bonus damage. It's a fairly good trade-off to lose a bit of base attack for double the physical damage bonus. Here's the real kicker. The physical damage bonus actually works with the weapon's effect. Let's take a look at the effect real quick, which reads, hitting an opponent with normal and charge attacks have a 60% chance of forming and dropping an Everfrost icicle above them, dealing 80% AoE attack damage. Opponents affected by cryo are dealt 200% attack damage, can only occur once every 10 seconds. It's a pretty good ability. It lets you do 80% attack damage on the low end or 200% attack damage on the high end every 10 seconds. Plus there's the physical damage bonus, which scales based on the weapon's level. So the ability actually does even more damage than that. At level 1 it gives a 15% bonus, which means on the low end it's actually doing 92% attack damage and 230% attack damage on the high end. And this scales with the weapon's level. At higher levels, that physical damage bonus gets pretty terrifying. Right now I have the spear level to level 80 and it's a 62.9% physical damage bonus. 62.9%. That means not only are my normal and charge attacks doing 62.9% more damage, but the spear effect now does 130% damage on the low end and 326% damage on the high end every 10 seconds. And this is AoE damage too. And this is at rank 1. This is a craftable weapon, so it's pretty realistic to get this weapon to rank 5. And at rank 5, it would have a 100% chance of getting 140% damage ISO at the low end and 360% damage at the high end every 10 seconds. That's guaranteed damage every 10 seconds, and that's just before adding on the physical damage bonus. With my level 80 Dragonspine spear at rank 5, the spear would be doing 228% damage at the low end and 586% damage at the high end. 586% damage, and that's not even factoring in crit damage. To put that into perspective, if you hit for 2500 before physical damage bonuses, you're now doing 14,650 damage every 10 seconds, alongside any damage you would do with your normal attacks. If you have 100% crit damage, when you crit on that icicle, you're doing 29,300 damage every 10 seconds. That's how much damage I get on my level 7 Planet Befall on Zhongli. Almost 30k damage every 10 seconds. There's gotta be a catch, and there is. It's time to actually go into the drawbacks of this weapon. This is where the technical part of this spear begins. In order to get that 14,650 damage every 10 seconds, it's based on being able to consistently freeze the enemy right before you switch to your polearm character. That's not an easy thing to do. You have to keep track of 2 characters' cooldowns in the middle of combat while dodging enemy attacks and using your other characters. In reality, character switches have a 1-second cooldown, so you actually need to keep track of your 2 combo characters, the one that uses cryo and your polearm user, to combo every 8 seconds. I myself find it very hard to do this. And yeah, you don't have to switch every 10 seconds, you could even not use the polearm with a cryo teammate, however that's just wasting the polearm. At that point it's probably just better to use a different spear like the Crescent Pike that has a higher base attack and doesn't require you to focus on its effect cooldown. That's not even considering the cost of getting the weapon to rank 5. That requires 5 northern polearm prototypes, and who knows how long that's going to take. That is a high investment cost right there. Comparing the Dragonspine spear to the other 2 craftable polearms, the Star Glitter and the Crescent Pike, the Dragonspine spear in my opinion is a spear more for people who want extra burst damage. The Dragonspine spear's advantage is that it has a lot more burst damage potential than the other spears. It's a weapon that combines high physical damage with a high burst damage. To get the highest damage out of the spear, you really need to fulfill 3 conditions. To get very high burst damage, you need to rank up the spear ideally to rank 5, and that's going to cost you a lot of northern polearm prototypes. 2, you gotta have a cryo character on your team. Without it, you won't be able to inflict the cryo status, which means you're always going to be constantly using the low end of the damage. And lastly, 3, you gotta be confident in your character tracking. To make this spear work, you need to keep track of when the cooldown for this spear is over, as well as know when to freeze the enemy before using the spear. If you can't do all 3 of these conditions, then I would not recommend this spear for you. My recommendation is to go with another spear like the Crescent Pike if you're using a polearm user as your main DPS, or the prototype Star Glitter if your polearm character is more a support DPS. For those who are able to use this spear, it is great for you. It has some huge burst damage potential, and it adds an extra source of damage into your team that can help you out in a pinch. Of course, there are 5-star polearms that would perform better, however those are all 5 stars, which means that unless you are insanely lucky or have a lot of money to spend, you're not going to get it. Anyways guys, let me know in the comments any questions you have and I will be happy to answer. Take care and see you in the next one.